Hey everyone, it's me, Eric Kimball. Today I'm in my backyard. It's a beautiful July morning, and I am going to take this shock and this other shock, two shocks of a winter rye grain that I grew in my mini bed garden, and I'm going to thresh out the seeds. Now, if you have watched my previous videos, you may recall that I harvested this grain a while back, and this is winter rye that I planted last fall as a cover crop in my mini beds. And I think winter rye is the ideal cover crop for mini beds especially. I decided to let two of the mini beds grow, and it grew to a remarkable height, and it was very lush. It was beautiful. And I showed in a video, and I'll put a link to that video at the very end of this video if you haven't seen it. I showed how when I harvested this, the grains, the kernels of the seeds were quite soft, kind of doughy. And I did the fingernail test and they just mushed. But since harvesting these, I brought them inside in my workshop and I hung them up, and they have dried so that these seeds are very hard. The fingernail indent does not work at all. They don't mush and they don't indent. These are very hard. So I want to show you what happened when I brought these seed heads inside. They were kind of tight when I cut them, and then I brought them indoors and they've opened up, and the seeds are visible right there. I can just, whoops, just lost one on the ground there, but there's a couple, and so they're loose. Having dried down, let's see if we can get a few more here. Oh, I just lost another one on the ground. See, there's some. And so it shouldn't be that hard to get the seeds out of this now. So what I'm going to do here to make this a little bit easier, more manageable, is I'm going to trim off all the seed heads into this box. And this is, of course, not necessarily a traditional way of doing this at all. I do know how to do this in a traditional manner with a flail. I did it in high school. My parents had a barn and some land, and they rented the land to a local farmer, and he grew wheat one year, and I was interested in making wheat and getting wheat out of grains, so I got permission to scythe down a small section of the field, and I'm talking really small, and I brought the grain into my parents' barn and let it dry down, and then I made a flail. I put grain on a tarp and I beat it, and then I beat the seeds out of it, I should say, and I then winnowed the chaff away, and it was kind of fun. I had a lot of energy when I was a teenager, and I thought I wanted to be like a small farmer, so that was something I did. This is actually a very pleasant task to trim these seed heads off on this beautiful summer morning in my backyard in the shade, sitting down. I can hear birds. I can hear a little trickle of water in the creek behind me. Yeah, I like this. Now, if I had much more than this to process, it might not be so pleasant, like if I had a truckload. But we're talking small scale here, real small scale, kind of a fun experiment. You know, I had a memory here, not the memory of threshing. I won't tell you that story again, but I had a memory here as I was doing this. I remembered something that I haven't thought about for a very long time. Back in 1980, my wife and I got married, and we did not have children for a lot of years, so we had time. We both worked. She worked as a medical office assistant to the doctor in town. I worked for a local contractor. We lived in an apartment. We were saving our money so we could pay cash for some land and to build our house, and this is the land we're still on here. But anyways, that was back in 1980. We had time, and we were into crafts. different crafts, doing things, making things. And one of the crafts that we had an interest in and that we did for a while was wheat weaving. I haven't thought of this for a very long time. Wheat weaving. We wove these Christmas tree ornaments. I have just a vague recollection now of that, but it was fun. It was a phase we went through. Christmas tree ornaments, wheat weaving. Bear with me, I'm almost done. You won't have to listen to my stories. Isn't this exciting? Yeah, well, it's always fun to try new things, like wheat weaving, like saving rice seed, like making a movie about it. Almost done. Here we go. That's it. Done. So I have this box now of these seed heads, and I need to get all the little seeds out. And my approach is not the traditional one of threshing. It's going to be the one of rubbing these between my hands like that, and then just checking to make sure I got the bulk of the seeds, most of the seeds, if not all of them. Yeah, this is therapeutic. That's what you have to think about it. It's therapeutic to sit in the backyard and rub these between your fingers and get all those beautiful rye seeds out of there. They are beautiful. It'll be interesting to see how many I get, won't it? Okay, so I've been doing this enough now to know that the best way for me to get these seeds out of one of these seed heads is to just kind of clear away the seeds on the bottom here, and then I can just strip the seeds right out like that. I'll show you one more. Let me find a nice one. You see that? That's just loaded with seeds. So I'm going to distress the bottom here and get those seeds out, and then I can strip them right out with my thumb. See that? Yeah. This is very, not only therapeutic, it's a contemplative job. It gives you time to think. And you know, life is busy. We don't take time to sit down and think. At least I don't very often. Not since I left my government job. I had all day to sit down and think at that. Well, it took me a while, but I didn't work at it steady. I did some other things and just kept coming back here. You can see the straw there. You can see the seed heads that have been stripped of their seeds right there. And here you can see the seeds. And I'm going to put those seeds into that pan and winnow away the chaff. There's a little bit of a breeze coming through this way, so we'll see if that helps. Yeah, you can see the chaff blowing away, and the mostly clean seeds are dropping down there into that pan. So I'll do this a few times. You can see how clean that is after just one pour, one winnowing. Do it again. Yeah, very nice. Maybe I'll hand pick out the big stuff. God, that's actually clean enough. I'm going to do it one more time though. All right, for my purposes here, as a gardener, using this seed for cover crops, that is clean enough. Look at those beautiful seeds. So I just weighed these seeds on my postal scale. I got 1 pound, 12 ounces. That's 1 3/4 pounds of beautiful homegrown winter rye seed that I will use on my mini beds this fall when I plant them to the cover crop. I think, I'm not sure, but I think I may have enough to do all the mini beds that I need to do to plant them with this crop. And then next year, I can let 2 mini beds grow up and do this again. I will do this again, I'm pretty sure, because it's not hard, and it's a little tedious, but it's not hard, and it's extremely satisfying to grow these seeds and to think that I don't have to buy winter rye seeds because I can just grow my own every year using 2, in my garden system, 2 mini beds. So yeah, very satisfying. I hope you've enjoyed this video, that perhaps you're inspired by it, and I'll see you in the next one.